Hello, my name is Creostix, and welcome back to Contradiction. And I have now checked the walkthrough because I had to check one because I was
A few more
stumped.
questions, if you don't mind.
And I'm gonna defend myself for being stumped here because yes, there is a contradiction with this guy here, Rand the guy, the Atlas guy. And here's the thing. The thing is, never came into contact with Third Eye, and let's see here. The other one was phrase invented while based at the village hall. My mistake was, for some reason, I didn't pick up on the notion of based at. That's the one thing. And I thought that he was sort of just at the village hall, and also I sort of assumed that the village hall thing was more like that they frequented the place and that wouldn't necessarily mean that they would come into contact with everyone else who happens to, let's say, rent the place at different times than they did. Like if you go to a gym at, say, 5 p.m. always, you wouldn't come into contact with the person you that that goes there from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. ever. That was my like. And the second thing, also, uh, this conversation in itself never makes notion of they were based at the village center. I think maybe James or someone mentioned that, but it doesn't come up here. It is not a contradictory thing here, which is the mechanic of the game. You have these clues which contradict them like each other clearly, but that's a leap of logic in this system here. That the fact of them being there in the village center is not a part of this conversation in these clues. That is a really, really bullshit step. And I have to call it up for being that. Right, so, freedom phrase. There.
Aha.
That's just no.
According to the flyer, this Third Eye group was based at the village hall, is that right?
Was it?
That's where you were based, wasn't it? Yeah, you said you invented the Atlas phrase free to be free while you were based at the village hall.
So I did.
So you must have come into contact with Third Eye at some point. You were using the same hall.
No, they actually wouldn't have, but,
Well, I'm afraid I haven't been entirely honest with you, Inspector.
You don't say.
Go on.
You see, Third Eye is, or was, Atlas under a different name. Sorry.
Atlas is Third Eye.
In the
Revelations.
new improved form, yes.
And you ran Third Eye.
With Dad, yes.
So you must have known Liam. You didn't just meet him, did you?
Yes, I knew him, Inspector, but don't get your hopes up. All of this has been thoroughly investigated and cleared up.
You've been investigated about his death?
They dropped the case. We didn't have anything to do with it. Well, when I say drop the case, I mean a police investigation is one thing, but what the public thinks is another. They threatened to go public, and then James bloody Wilson started distributing his flyers, and that was it. No choice. It was an end to it.
You had to change the name.
We'd already paid the family an out-of-court settlement. Thought that was an end to it. But then James, his cronies, they wouldn't leave it alone. So we had to close down, buy a new place, rebrand. So eventually, we reopened here.
As Atlas.
As Atlas.
And it worked.
Up till now, yes.
So you knew James Wilson too?
We knew James, but he didn't know us as such. Oh, he was very quick to shoot us down, but he didn't do anything like actually coming to the course to see what he was about.
So James wouldn't know that you were now running Atlas.
Not unless he came to one of our courses.
And how much of all that stuff was true? ECT machines, brainwashing.
I'm afraid that exists only exclusively in the mind of Mr. Wilson. All we do is make better business people. We challenge their prejudices and presumptions. Why don't you come along and see for yourself? The course starts in 15 minutes. Excuse me, Inspector.
Okay. Don't mind me.
I can't come back now. Well, you have my car at the moment. All right. All right. See you later. That was Dad. I have to go back. You can come and meet him if you like.
No, I might
Sure.
come and have a chat.
Come with me.
Great. Oh, 8 p.m. Yay! We've made progress again.
To be perfectly honest, Dad's a great businessman, but he lacks imagination.
You mentioned
He
that, I
does,
think.
however, believe in the power of the individual, when taught by the right teacher, of course. Ryan! In here. Just coming. He's through here.
So, Ryan was the boy and Paul is dad. I'm trying to keep that straight here.
To
Hello.
whom do I owe the pleasure?
Detective Inspector Jenks, I'm investigating a death in the village. I believe you knew Kate Vine.
Oh, I thought all this was dealt with, Inspector. You do know that Kate Vine was a gherkin short of a big mad. You do now.
Father.
You must forgive my son, Inspector. He still can't summon up the courage to come straight to the point. So what do you want to know?
Well, a few more questions if you don't mind.
But I do mind. I'm a very busy man. Try asking an intelligent question, like, do I mind being quizzed about a once promising student who turned into a useless drunk? Ryan, would you mind leaving us for a while?
I'll go back to the centre. I have one or two things to prepare. Call me if you need me, Dad.
You may begin, Mr. Holmes, although I'm not going to be able to help you. I don't have much to do with the course nowadays, so I can't give you any hard information.
That's as maybe, but we
No,
need...
that's as is. But if you want my opinion, I'd be quite happy to give it to you. So, fire away.
Okay, thank you. Well, Paul certainly doesn't take any prisoners. It's obvious who's pulling the strings in this family, and I wonder what they got up to in their previous guise as Third Eye. 8 o'clock already.
Right. Hold the phone here. That dude is among these people. That dude towers above them as a speaker actor. That Jesus, it was like whoa. Like he can talk. He can deliver a line. That was wow. I'm already starting to wonder if when Ryan mentioned that he did some Satan worship, I wonder if Satan came from up from hell and became his dad. Whoa. But yeah, he towers above all the other people in this game as an act. Whoa, Jesus, that was a delivery, boy. Okay, well, Mr. Satan, let's talk about Kate Vine.
How well did you know Kate?
Hardly knew it at all. Met her a few times. But the course, that's about all.
So when was the last time you saw her?
Last Friday. I just popped out of the course and about 7.
Did you speak to her then?
It's possible.
And how did she seem? Was she happy, sad, preoccupied?
She was drunk.
Well, only met Kate a few times. Last saw her at the meeting on Friday. Possibly spoke to her. Kate was drunk. Also, just talking about the when Ryan said that no alcohol there, but he drank alcohol. But there's that too. But yeah, sure.
Do you know if Kate had lost this? It's her driving license.
How would I know that?
You didn't see it lying around anywhere?
No.
Okay. That driving license seems to be a dud everywhere, but we'll see.
Did you know anything about Simon Thompson's bike?
No.
Well, good of me to ask. Let's talk about homebrew. Yes, I'm sure now we'll crack open the case with the homebrew of Simon Thompson. Yes, Mr. Staten, let's talk about some booze.
Ever tried Simon's homebrew? Simon Thompson?
No, I haven't. I wouldn't touch anything that has had Simon's fingers in it.
Whoa. But what if you need to borrow a pen or something? Cool beans. Interesting. Wait. Because usually I have to ask about the card instead of the pendant, but now I can do both. That's interesting. Why?
Have you seen this before?
Looks familiar. Where did you find it?
It was, in the woods.
Presumably had something to do with Kate or a killer.
Well, that's what I'm trying to establish.
Shouldn't it be in an evidence bag, Inspector, in case of contamination?
Yes.
I didn't have one with me, unfortunately.
Well, don't go testing it for DNA, will you? It's got yours all over it.
Yes. Curious point, he mentioned her killer. Did he slip up on me? I mean, it doesn't come up here, but still, he mentioned her killer, which is interesting because doesn't he, say that it was a suicide or was some such?
What do you know about this?
It's a freedom necklace. It's a symbol we use sometimes on the course. Little bird in cage flying away. Freeing themselves from their past is the analogy.
So do they get them when they join the course or something?
No, not as a rule. I think I bought one once as a present.
Oh, not for Kate, by any chance?
No, not for Kate. I can't really remember who it was for. A birthday present, maybe for one of the students.
Which student?
I've no idea.
Oh, I'm sure you don't. Okay. I'm just wondering if these two fit. That's probably not a thing, but just check. Okay. He doesn't recognize. Sure. It's doubtful Paul would know about the broken wheel. That's an assumption to make, Mr. Jenks. I wouldn't. Yes.
What did you hear about an argument in the pub last Friday?
I didn't go to the pub last Friday.
You didn't hear anything about an argument in the pub?
Should I have?
No, that's fine.
You're an intense guy, Mr. Staten. Let's just take a load off. Grab a bit of brandy, like your son. Oh, speaking of, how did we get back here? Because I mean, he was drinking. Did we drive here? He did mention that you have my car. I don't know.
What do you know about this?
Looks like a mask.
You don't recognize it?
Not particularly. Looks like a monarch mask.
What's a monarch mask?
Monarch is fancy dress outfitters. Ryan goes there sometimes.
Okay. That could still hold together, but we'll see.
Have you ever seen one of these before?
Do you appear on those?
It's a scrying mirror, pagan thing.
Ever used one?
Why would I use a scrying mirror?
Because they call for you.
So you
You're the
have
devil.
no interest at all in this sort of thing?
No.
Does the Atlas course use them at all?
Not at all. Strange question.
Could you tell me a bit about this?
Had it designed by an agency.
And when was that?
Last year.
Is that when you started the business?
Yes, I suppose so.
Oh, that's a lie, because I know for a fact that they were the other thing first, the third eye. So that is the thing, but I need to first find actually I might as well go here.
What do you know about this?
So you've been graced with Goebbels' company already, have you? James, our local minister for propaganda. I suppose Ryan already told you about our actual previous incarnation.
He explained, yes.
Did he tell you anything scandalous?
Not unless you count the suicide.
These things happen.
Oh, I'm
Was
sure.
it your idea?
The suicide.
Third eye.
Yeah, I suppose it was. As my son had started to atrophy, I decided I ought to give him something to do.
And third eye was the same as Atlas, teaching business skills.
Very similar.
So Liam's death didn't prompt you to make any changes?
There was nothing we could do about Liam's death, Inspector, any more than we could do anything about Kate's. It was out of our control.
You can't blame me for wondering, Paul. 2 student deaths in 2 years.
It's called a coincidence, Inspector.
Oh, I'm
I
sure.
expect they ate fast food also. But you're not investigating all the local chippies, are you?
I'm just, there was not a good thing here, but let's just go real quick before I, okay. Apparently no.
Can you tell me a little about the Atlas phrase, free to be free?
Where did you hear that?
I was talking to one of your students.
It's a little phrase we conjured up to summarize our objectives.
What is your objective, if you don't mind me asking?
Mine, or do you mean the course's objective?
On the course.
The objective of the course is to free people from bondage. We teach that most people are crippled by their past, by guilt, their attitudes, their beliefs, all that kind of nonsense.
Guilt cripples people.
Feeling guilty in business is like a meat eater feeling guilty in an abattoir. Guilt comes from the archaic emotional centers of the brain. It's a vestige of our animal ancestry, that's all. In business, you heed it at your peril. I'm sorry, Inspector. My house appears to be haunted.
Well, you're the devil.
Would you mind closing the door?
So, you believe that guilt has no place in business?
None at all. I have few beliefs, Inspector, but that's one of them.
And what if you have done something wrong?
Well, that's the whole point. Guilt has nothing to do with it.
Interesting opinion.
Yeah, that's a bit of a, yeah, that's going places with an idea, but sure.
Have you ever heard of Salvia divinorum, or magic mint?
Sounds like it might be a drug.
It's a hallucinogenic plant. Legal, as a matter of fact.
I'm not a drug taker, Inspector. I have no enthusiasm for voluntarily poisoning your brain.
And you've never seen anyone on the course taking it?
Well, if someone had, they wouldn't have done it openly. We don't allow drugs or alcohol on our course. We like to tell the students that success is the best drug. Whether you buy into that, of course, is another matter.
Oh, I'm sure. Hand symbol.
If I did this, would it mean anything to you?
Is it
I presume
summon
you've
you?
seen an Atlas student doing that.
Ah, so this is an Atlas thing.
Well, it wasn't exactly our idea. The students started doing it spontaneously to show commitment to the cause. Cute, really. Which student did you see doing that?
I'm not sure, but he was carving it into a tree. I told him to stop.
Did you really? Why?
Defacing public property.
That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. What's the punishment for that kind of thing nowadays? Prison sentence?
It's usually a fine.
All right. What about defiling public liberty? Does that carry a fine too?
Oddly enough, the student in question argued a similar point. Is that something you encourage on the Atlas course?
We encourage people who put ideas first and moral anachronisms second. The problem with the law, Inspector, is that it's out of date.
Well, I suppose that's a matter of opinion. However, you still respect it.
Respect it. I abide by it. We all play by the book, Inspector, but that's only because of the threat of possible incarceration.
Oh, I'm sure. Yes. I'm sure Mr. Devil there plays everything by the book. Yes, with his haunted house and everything.
How well did you know Liam?
Liam who?
Liam, who took his life.
Oh. Well, as far as I remember, he was a good student, confident, outgoing.
You didn't notice any problems?
I believe he had problems at home.
Were you there when he died?
Yes.
And afterwards? You didn't see him after the meeting?
No.
What was Liam like that night?
No. Apart from being drunk, or possibly because of that, he seemed perfectly happy.
He was drunk.
Well, I assume the bottle in his hand contained whiskey and not lemonade.
Lots of similarities to Kate, don't you think? Drinking, depression, is that normal for the students?
People come into the Atlas course for quick solutions to their problems. And when they don't get them as quickly as they might have liked, sometimes their impatience gets the better of them.
I'm sure. Okay, is there anything I haven't now? Oh,
Know what this is, by any chance?
I've no idea. Gardening isn't my kind of thing. Rebecca would probably know. I presume you've met Rebecca.
Yes,
I'm sure she'd enjoy telling you what it is. She's the kind of woman who likes to feel superior. Would probably marry a millionaire and then decide to run her own pub.
Yes, why was that?
Well, she isn't exactly housewife material. She likes to be in control, like Ryan. Shame, isn't it, that I'm in control of both of them?
oh boy. Yes, he is the devil. I am like putting my money down on that right now. And yes. Okay. Now, that is a lot of things. And I'm kind of, yeah. So, what would be the thing to do here? I luckily I sort of caved in here. I'm checking. I need to read up on a bit of like what would be. Aha. Liam had been drinking all night at the seminar, but oh boy, where was the thing with the no alcohol and drugs? I think it was also on here somewhere. There. But just in my defense, the exact same point pretty much I already got like no sold on with Ryan before, so I'm like,
Aha. So if you don't allow drink or drugs onto the site, why did you allow Liam to drink whiskey all night?
Well, we did give him various warnings. Did try to stop him, but didn't work.
But you let him stay on the course?
Yeah, well, we couldn't throw him out. This isn't a primary school, Inspector. We're not the police. We can't enforce these rules. If they pay their fees, they're entitled to stay on the course.
And what if they want to take drugs?
As long as they do it with discretion, frankly, I don't care if they want to wipe or inject paint stripper all over their faces.
Do you store any alcohol at Atlas?
No.
yes, you
Is there
do.
a kitchen?
Why, do you want to go down there and check?
Well, obviously you wouldn't mind if what you're saying is true.
Of course I wouldn't mind. It's past the lavatories down the corridor, but you won't find any drugs in there or alcohol.
Well, your son is
Whether
drinking
I find
alcohol.
alcohol at Atlas or not, it probably isn't particularly relevant. But it's worth a look anyway.
I'm sure. But yeah, like his son does absolutely drink alcohol there, so you know there's that that point. So, but okay, well, it's a thing to go forward on, so let's go forward on that thing then. Sure.
Thank you. Probably be back later.
But yeah, I wouldn't have gotten that in a long
I
time
get the
again
feeling I might be seeing a lot of Paul tonight.
because he's so lovely. Yes, that's the reason. Well, let's go to the kitchen at Atlas then, and well, you haven't needed a a, a warrant to check greenhouses, sheds,
So the kitchen must be down the corridor there if what Paul said is true.
Yes, let's assume that it is true then. Okay. I mean,
Interesting. Well, there's a TV right there with a DVD player. I don't think anyone will mind if I have a quick look at this.
oh, I'm sure, but again, in the next room, there's Ryan drinking right now. There's your alcohol. I thought you said you don't have any medicines of any kind, but does a first aid kit count? Maybe not. Yeah, I don't know. Well, but let's do the TV then. Try a DVD from the pile. But don't you have the... Well, I mean, why not, I guess. I thought you like have the DVD on you, but I still might, but...
Freedom, true freedom, means freedom from many vices that society had traditionally believed to be virtues. Self-criticism, self-doubt, guilt. Ladies and gentlemen, these are not virtues. These are sins. Born of a fake morality implanted deep within our minds and collective consciousness by governments and religions through the ages, with the sole purpose of preventing the masses, stopping us from achieving the same success, happiness, and freedom enjoyed by those at the very pinnacle of society.
I'm sure.
I'm going to show you that common morality is nothing more than the cynical creation of an elite desperate to stay in power. An elite hell-bent on preventing you from reaching your full potential by making you feel guilty for pursuing success.
And Atlas wants you! Yes.
But the good news is that you can take back control. You can become the success you deserve to be. Atlas will give you a unique and powerful advantage. Life in all its technicolor glory can be yours. All that you have to do is to stay, embrace it, enjoy it, and learn to love your ambition. Welcome to Atlas.
Well, that was an inspirational speech. And yeah, but actually I'm running against the clock here, and I have to call it here because I don't know how much longer the pile of DVDs will last, and I have to continue on that on the next time because I gotta run. But this has been interesting. It's gotten a bit harder than I thought it would be. There's a lot of like options to try to find a contradiction on, and it's a little finicky on what is and isn't that, but it's details. A walkthrough is possibly required in the future as well. We'll see, but this has been still fun. I like it. A bit more clunky and hard than I thought, but still, it's fun. But I do hope you've enjoyed this, and if you have, please do drop a like or a comment or even subscribe or share if you want to. It would really, really help. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again next time.